Now, for the past 32 years, thousands of people come together at the AIDS Walk and Run in Boston to honor those they've lost to the ailment and to give hope to those living with HIV and AIDS. Now, the fundraising efforts from the event support AIDS Action Committee and its work to end the epidemic here in Massachusetts. Now, through this amazing outreach, AIDS Action Committee has helped Massachusetts reduce new HIV diagnosis by 47% since 2000. Now, saving the state more than $1.8 billion in avoided HIV-related healthcare costs. To tell us more about this year's event, which, by the way, is scheduled for Sunday, June 4th, we've invited Sciortino, the Executive Director of AIDS Action Committee, which is, again, the leading provider of services for people living with HIV and AIDS in Massachusetts. Welcome to Urban Update, and congratulations, my friend.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us on.
Before I get into the amazing event, a lot has changed over the years.
Absolutely.
Could you give us a kind of the state of the HIV/AIDS in Massachusetts, a little kind of synopsis?
Yeah, sure. So you just hit one of the most important parts, is we've seen an amazing reduction in new infections in the last 15 years or so, and it wasn't by accident. It wasn't because things miraculously got better. It was because we actually invested in this state in prevention and care and support and treatment services like no other state. So nationally, there are 50,000 new infections per year. It's a flat line for a good decade and a half. In this state, we saw this amazing decline in new infections because we actually got people living with HIV into care and treatment. And when people are in treatment, they're not transmissible to other people, actually. It's one of the best ways to prevent HIV is to get people with the virus.
So if we're doing so well, wouldn't you guys be a great case model for the rest of the country?
Absolutely. Actually, there was just a study published in the American Journal of Public Health about the Massachusetts model of how we can end the epidemic, how we can get to zero infections and death, and we're on the right track. It takes continued investment. You know, this is something that is an infectious disease. If you stop the investment today, the progress can regress really fast, but we're in the right place right now.
So obviously, this walk, this event, is huge for you, right? This is a big one, right? This is one way that folks watching today can get involved.
You know, the AIDS Walk has always been New England's largest, and it's now the oldest AIDS education and fundraising event. It raises about 10% of our agency's budget, about $1 million per year, which is phenomenal, but it's also a chance to go on shows like this and talk to people and talk about what HIV is today, how to prevent the virus. People don't have a lot of common knowledge today. They have historic memories and images of what happened 20 and 30 years ago at the worst day, and maybe they think it's over now or it's done, it's an issue of the past, but it's clearly still something that is with us. People living with the virus today need support and care. We still need to prevent the virus for every generation coming up. We have kids growing up today that don't remember what it was like 20 years ago.
Yeah, the education, right? The
exactly.
awareness, right?
So the AIDS Walk gives us all of that. The AIDS Walk brings almost 10,000 people together every year, plus all the social media and the work we do around the walk. It lets us tell that story, which is pretty profound.
And I know that the money raised goes to support your mission specifically, but there are some incredible, kind of like this amount helps this, right? So give me a little rundown of some of like what a donation could help.
Yeah, I'll give you a couple of examples. So if you gave $30 to the AIDS Walk, that would cover a person living with HIV being able to spend an hour with one of our peer counselors. We have people living with HIV, peers, that will spend an hour with a client. That's about $30. For about $100, or closer to $60, you can get an HIV test plus the session for counseling and testing and risk reduction counseling. Up to $500. $500 will get you a month of food supply in our homeless youth shelter. We run a homeless youth program, and our youth need access to food. So $500 gets you a month of food at the youth shelter, and everything in between. We run a range of services that every dollar counts and goes to our agency's bottom line and helps our work every day.
So since every dollar counts, I want to put up the website, because I imagine going to the website, you can get more information.
Everything there, AIDSWalkBoston.org. Yes, please go, AIDSWalkBoston.org. You can download information about HIV. You can sign up for the walk. You can join us the day of on June 4th. If folks have never been to the walk, please just show up and join us and check it out.
So where do the people show up? I don't think we've told people where, right?
Hopefully it'll be a beautiful day. We have usually sunny, beautiful days. It's Sunday, June 4th at the DCR Hatch Shell right along the Esplanade.
Yep.
We kick off the opening ceremony at 9 o'clock. We have the 5K run kicks off at 9:50 and the walk kicks off at 10 o'clock. And for the runners out in the community, it's a 5K run that actually shuts down Sturrow Drive. So if you ever want to run on Sturrow Drive, this is the only run you can do that gets you out on the road safely.
I've seen the folks out when that's closed down, but see, I didn't know the great cause behind it.
Right.
So this is great. All right, so a little bit before we change, all these proposed changes to Affordable Care Act and cuts in the budget of $1 million recently. How do these potential changes affect you guys?
Yeah, we're in an interesting time. Both the state and federal government's investment in HIV has declined. We're facing significant cuts on both levels this year. The story of progress that we have in Massachusetts only continues by continuing to invest in the prevention and support services that we have. So just to give you one example, last year This past fall, we received about $1 million cut statewide. In our program, we had to eliminate some of our HIV testing programs for gay men and transgender women, some of the folks most at risk. We had to eliminate part of that work. We had to eliminate our health library that for 20 years has provided literacy, health literacy to our clients and staff, and that's been eliminated as well. These are real impactful cuts that we can't afford anymore, so we have a real job to keep the funding up.
So two things, right? Help with the walk and the fundraising.
Absolutely.
And how about lobbying state reps and senators and all that?
Absolutely. We're up on Beacon Hill. We have an action alert system. People can sign up on the website and learn how to get emails from us when it's time to contact state reps and senators. We also do advocacy at the federal level as well.
All right, my friend Carl, I'm glad you came by. Maybe next year you'll come by with some photos of this year's event.
Absolutely. Happy
Give me
to.
some good photos.
Join us if you're around on the 4th. We'd love to have you out there.
I think I'll be in Baltimore. I checked the calendar. Red Sox,
Next year,
Orioles
yeah.
are playing, so I did
That's
check.
pretty good
I
excuse.
did check. But I wish you all the luck. I'm
Thank you
glad
very much.
Came by.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
All right, don't move, because coming up next, a story of love, heartbreak, and tragedy set against a deeply flawed healthcare system. Now, the author of this tale in just a few moments right here on Urban Update.